Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be doing more coding. Hey, just had a bit of an issue with my OBS earlier. It just was like saying, "Oh, internet? What internet? That's dumb." Yeah, so it's fixed now though. So this is what I have so far. It's been a little while since I've uploaded, but currently this is how my game is looking. So I have the splash state from the game state things. I also have this menu state here, and then I can choose between these two options. Now exit's going to close the game, play's going to make the game play, and then this is what we have. So I have a whole bunch of these agents, and these agents can move around the map, right? And they cannot exceed the map's boundaries, which is good. The only exceptions being this side and that side, but that's only because their position is technically their top left. But other than that, everything does work fine. So that's all good. That's just a minor agent issue as opposed to anything else. Then I can click on the screen and then they'll be attracted to that point. The only issue is this point is not the same point on my screen as their screen. So I need to convert the mouse coordinates on the screen into coordinates in this area for this thing to use. Yeah, so that's going to be the next thing. Thank you for pinging. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so next thing on the list is to have a behavior. No, is to fix the behaviors so that way it matches appropriately to what I'm seeing on screen. And then after that, that'll be one nice chunk of it done. And then I need to do a pathfinding behavior afterwards. So let's see, what are we doing? So from what I recall, someone telling me about is that there is a get world position to get mouse position. It's like so it's like hooraylib. I do not know what to think about that warning. So I think we'll try to search for mouse. So there's get mouse ray, get camera matrix. Oh, world to screen. There we go. That's what we're looking for, I think. It's this get world to screen. And then we can use this to create an accurate target for the pointer, for the mouse position. The only issue being that that would mean, I think, that we need a So we know our vector 3 position, which will be our mouse position, And then we need our camera. So somehow I have to get my camera in there. I have to somehow get my camera into the behavior script. I think, let's see if we go into behavior, I guess .h. Yes, and then so we need behavior.h to change, and then we need to take a look at our agents. Okay, so here's the deal. This is what our update function looks like. It takes in the agent and then also takes in the delta time. But what we're going to need is we're also going to need a camera component, which is going to be, it's just going to make things weird. Because I need to think about a good way. I need to think about a good way of getting the camera from the play state into the behavior state. So then that way we can use the get world position right here. That way we can use the get world to screen. Oh wait, yeah, get world to screen 2D. Or is it this one? I'm not entirely sure. I think one of these will give us the right results, but what that requires is a camera somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where to put it. Ooh, where did I go? So we have our camera here. This is our update. This is where we go into our. This is where we load our agents and load up the different behaviors. Yeah, so this is what we load in. Currently, we load in all our agents with a wander behavior. We set their positions to be on the opposite sides of each other, and then we push it to the back of this player of the agent array, or the agent vector. And then we go into our update function. Probably just easier to use an array though. Probably just so then it's easier to access individual components, but we've already done it with vectors, so we're just going to keep it that way. It's going to add that seek behavior. It's going to do some position correction if it exceeds certain bounds. Camera movement. Yeah, see, this is where our agent update function is called, and we give it a delta time value. which is put into our equations. One thing I'm actually a little bit curious about, even before that, is how it's drawing. Because in the end, I'm drawing the map at the very back, but it seems like the agent.draw features, like, why is the points that I'm drawing going behind the map? And I think that's because oh wait, it's drawing inside our update functions, isn't it? So if we go into our seek state, seek behavior, somewhere around here, seek behavior, that's our .h in our CPP. Yep, seek behavior. Oh crap, we've got a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's because this draw function is being called in our update function when we really should be putting it in our draw function, so that way it can stay on the outside. And then yeah, so yep, for now we don't want this in here, and we can get rid of some of this other stuff. We'll keep it. I just don't like it because it's a bit chunky, but it'll be fine. Probably don't include it in here though. Take it outside. Okay, so then this is another derivation of the velocity. Then remove seek behavior if it gets within the point. Okay. Then we need to put this somewhere else, but we'll comment it out for now. And then we need to get a camera in here. So yeah, and this is when I was talking about those two other things we can do. So one thing that I could do is have I think the easiest thing to do would be to have a public thing called get camera. So then that way our behaviors can include the play state, and then get the camera from the play state without having to have it go through the agent state or the agent state or the update loop and the whatnot. It would make it a lot easier for our behaviors to have access to our camera class. So that's what I'm probably going to write in here into our play state, and that is specifically a what is it? It was like it's like a camera 2D camera 2D get camera 2D function, and that is going to, as the name suggests, get the camera 2D. Yep. So then I'm gonna add that here. So camera 2D, then place state, get camera 2D, and then return camera. Oh wow. M_camera. Granted, I could also just put that in the H. And it's like, my thing is, you could probably, it's like my general rule of thumb is that if it's like one line, then you can keep it in the header file. Obviously, you probably, well, even though like convention is to just keep it all in the CPP, but for stuff that's like a one-liner, you can, it's not so bad to put it in your header file for convenience. And then we can go into our seek behavior, and then what we can do is we can set our target position to be so first we hash include our place state, and then we set our target position to be whatever the function is here. So let's see, what function are we looking for? Screen to world returns world space position for 2D camera screen space position. Yeah. So yeah, we want to return, I think, get screen to world 2D. Awesome. So then we want to instead, get screen to world with get mouse position, and then get that's okay. We can do, we can fix that. So we grab here. We go camera 2D and camera. Oh no. We need a copy of our play state in our behavior class in order to get the camera. Okay, wait. Could we do it in our constructor? It's certainly possible. Oh no, it wouldn't work because then it wouldn't update the camera. And you could so use a pointer. What am I talking about? Yeah, you could so use a pointer to that point. Yeah, what am I talking about? I don't need to pass the camera through it all. I just need a pointer to it, so that when we construct the play space, we get a pointer. I swear, I love pointers. You get a pointer to the play state, and then you can use that pointer to access the updating play state. Yeah, I swear, pointers are so good. Pointers are too freaking good. I tell you that. So we get our behavior, right? So we go into our CPP, and then we want to actually set a explicit behavior here, and that is going to be our, like, what stuff do we do in these things? Because I know we do something funky in here. See, this is what we do. We literally set it like that. So in our behavior constructor, we can set it so that it takes in the current player behavior, so that way it's constructed with the play space, and then we can give it a pointer to the play space currently. That is pretty dope. Okay. Then we can use that to access the camera, and then we can use the camera to get the world position, and we can get the world position so that way things can be relative. At least for a mouse click. At least for a mouse click. Oh boy. Sorry, it's just like it's taking every fiber of my body not to just play some Risk of Rain 2 right now. Boy, they added a new update, and it's really good. I like it a lot. I mean, like, it's great. I love it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. If you saw the stream yesterday, I was playing as Rex when I was fighting Mithrix, the new final boss of the game, and that was just insane. I mean, it was pretty good. I was whooping his ass, and then he took a really long time, and like I didn't understand what the fourth phase was. Like I knew it took all your items, but I didn't know there was like a window where he just sits there, and I thought he would have armor. I thought he'd be like invulnerable during that time, so I didn't really get as much damage on him as I could have. Like, I feel like if I had known that he wasn't invulnerable, I probably could have killed him there and then. I could have probably just been like, hey, you're dead. But yeah, it's definitely a very much a test of skill to beat Mithrix. Granted, that run was I had absolutely no skill. It was a god run. It was a god run, but it was definitely something really awesome. And then my friend wanted me to do a run as commando to feel the pain, and then he said, "Oh, I haven't gotten past stage 4," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I got up to stage 5. Look, I know it's probably not a big thing, but to be honest, I think I was pretty unlucky. There weren't like anywhere near as many chest drops on the stages. Like when I was playing as Rex, there were chests everywhere. Like it was everywhere, and I was just like, okay, cool. And then I was playing as Commando, and it's like, where are the flippin' items? There was like no items at all. And it was like, what? Where are they? And then on Teleporter 4, on stage 4, got overloading Elder Lumerians. And somehow I beat them. I did beat them. But what happened was, then I went to the Gilded Coast, and I kind of wasted all my adrenaline trying to not die to like 5 or 6 overloading Elder Lumerians. So I kind of wasn't on my A game, and then I kind of tried to slide underneath one of the Elder Lumerian's legs, and instead I kind of got bonked. Like I kind of just stopped at his legs. Yeah, it's kind of weird how the hitboxes for the Elder Lumerians work. It really feels like you can run through them, underneath them, but you can't. And then, he just like spat on me and I died instantly. But, I felt it was a good run. It was a good run. Yeah, so it's like, anyone says, "Oh, Commando, he sucks. He's like the worst character. You can't do anything with Commando. It's 10 times harder." And it's like, dude, he is workable. He's weak, but he's not that weak. Definitely did make some bad decisions on the run after that. I think I was just really tired. I should have gone for the sticky bomb, but I went for another soldier syringe. And even though, like, hold on a second, isn't like AoE one of Commando's like worst things to deal with? Oh no. And on top of that, I didn't even get to go to the void fields on the first floor. First floor void fields is the plan. It's the go-to. It's the best way to win. Only way to win. You get so much extra items, so much extra damage, and it was just unfortunate that I slid and bonked into dudes. And if I had remembered, I had the head stompers, didn't I? Yes, I did. I need to practice with the head stompers because they've been substantially buffed, and they do anywhere between 1,000 to 10,000 base damage, and anywhere between 12 to 100 meter kinetic explosion radius. yeah, so that they've been really buffed, and I had it, but I didn't use it once. And I know if I bonked them, like, I mean, if I bounced on them, they would have died so much faster. Because, like, there's only so much Royal Cap can do. But a 10,000 damage splash hit to everyone, that would have been at least half health for everyone, at least. Because, like, how much does Royal Cap do? I think this is just for Rain 1. Oh. So Royal Capacity does 3,000 damage. Oh. And Halo? Yeah, so, yeah, this is a nice tip. And yeah, so 3,000 damage, whereas the Head Stompers do 10,000 damage now. So it wouldn't have done much more, but it would have meant that it would have done a nice chunk of damage. So if we go to Head Stompers. Yeah, see. Anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 damage in a 5 to 100 meter kinetic explosion. And recharges every 10 seconds. So it's basically a faster, higher damage, explosive radius Royal Cap. The only problem being that you need to be in the air to splash. Anyway, so I just definitely want to get used to doing some head stompers. So maybe I might do an artifact of command run, just so then I can get some head stompers and give it a shot. Because definitely want to. It's a big improvement over what it was before, and I definitely feel like if it didn't have a damage cap, it would be much better. Because you could do really hilarious things with it. Just like, I don't know what it is, but with oh yeah, it was with the in the abandoned aqueduct. Yeah, in the abandoned aqueduct, there's like no ceiling. So you can go as high as you want and then crash. At least this was pre 1.0. I don't know if there is a ceiling now, but I remember there not being a ceiling, and then you can just boop yourself up forever if you really wanted to. Anyway, me getting a little bit sidetracked because I'm a little excited. So yeah, so now our seek behavior. We want our seek behavior to include our behavior state. So we're going to include our play states. So we're going to just declare here class, was it play state, semicolon. So in our constructor, we're going to get we need a play state pointer called play state. And then we will put that here. So that way, m play state equals play state semicolon. That's all we want. So that way when we construct our behavior, we then have a play state. So then we can go play state. And then get camera. Okay, maybe if I was a little smarter, what we could also do is have it so we put in our camera instead, because we can put in our camera in here, pointed to our camera. Instead of including our whole play state, actually. Yeah, so we can use our get camera. We actually don't need our get camera because we just give it a pointer to our camera, and then we can use this camera class, this camera bit here. So yeah, we can get rid of our get camera function. We don't need a get camera function. But I will keep it for now. Just I'm going to comment it out as we currently do not need it. Then an error. Awesome, yes, as it should. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually put in our camera class, so our m_camera. And what we're going to do is we're going to give it the reference. We're going to reference it. Then we're going to go into our seek behavior. Instead of getting a pointer to our play state, we're going to get. We don't actually need to call the class anymore, so we can go camera 2D. And then change this to camera 2D as well, and then go camera, and then awesome. Awesome. So now that we have our camera, then we can put it here. Ah, yes. So then we need to we need the content at the camera. There we go. That should be all we need. And then we can go into.
Am I gonna be?
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. That my mom kind of just surprised me. Okay, so let's see. We've got our seek behavior, putting in our camera, and then our seek is going to set up the camera, and then we're going to access the camera and get the thingamadoodads. I swear I love pointers. Anyway, let's get to it. So we hit the play button. And if this works, then that means that we should be able to use you should be able to use this other places. It's working! Look at that, look at that. This is beautiful. I think the odd thing is that you can see the wander behavior still being active as they're walking. So you see that they're wandering a little bit, and then you see that they kind of jiggle as they make their way across here, you know, like they're not perfect, they don't beeline, they kind of jiggle. Kind of this meandering jiggle about it, and it's a little bit funny. Like a few little funny jelly cubes. Okay, awesome. Glad to see that that works. Now we can put that into our flee behavior as well. Maybe. I don't think I want it in the flee behavior, mostly because the flee behavior is instead going to want a list of positions. Excuse me. It's I'm not entirely sure how I want the flee behavior to act. I want it to be a what is it? I want it to be very what is it? There's a word for it. Because I want it to flee from the enemy team. So the flee behavior is going to need to be put on every character that is on the player, and then that way every agent will have to check for every enemy to see if it's within the zone, which is a little bit like not great, or like if it's within a certain position, within a certain radius of a certain position. Oh yeah, that's also a thing. I need to also change the flee behavior, because currently it's kind of set to a box. It is kind of set to a box. It is kind of set to a box. Yeah, so I need to quickly fix that. Same thing with my point radius. It's also a box, but the box is so small that it might as well be a point. This is, however, a little bit different. So I'm going to so I need to change this so it actually is a radius as opposed to being a box. And what does that mean? That means we need to create a distance formula. So if the distance between the target, so let's see, let's take a look at our CPP, our H file for the flee behavior, so we know what we're working with. So we have a target, we have a point radius, and a speed. Okay. And then we also have the agent. Yes, so it basically, oh, sorry about that. That was really in poor taste. Yes, so basically if the target and the agent, if the agent is a certain distance from the target, then we want to execute this behavior. And then we set that distance to be our point radius. So we need to modify this if statement so that it is circular. in nature, because I feel like having it be a box is nowhere near as good. So what we're going to do is first we're going to write some code back here so I know that I'm not stuffing this up. So there is a distance, vector2 distance, that's cool, given two vectors. So then we want the well, it doesn't matter, so we want the target. We want target and yes, it's this. Oh yeah, that's to get our desired velocity though. That's all right. So we just need to slap that in there. And then we just need to say is less than point radius. Yep, so get rid of this old logic. And then we're going to slap this new logic in here. So if the distance to the target is less than the point radius, then we want to execute our speed. That way we get less issues in terms of things running away. Kind of getting caught on the circle, because a lot of the times things were getting caught because it was a square, but now that it's a circle, it should be a lot easier to walk around it. And we also need to fix this draw circle, so that way it's called in our draw function. Okay. So now, next two things we want to do. Oh goodness, I'm still yawning. It's like 11 o'clock. That's what happens when you don't go for a morning walk, I guess. So this is what we want to do. We need to make the flee behavior target work for a variety of different targets. We needed to have, I guess, an overload for the update function. No, we don't need an overload. We'll just make it so that it's a for loop. So that way you can have multiple targets you can be fleeing from. But it's also kind of hard because I do need to work in pathfinding somewhere in this. Well, for now, we won't worry about pathfinding, and then maybe after lunch, once we get all our nodes down, like we have our nodes, we just haven't got any pathfinding implementation yet. So once we get our behaviors working, then maybe we can do something like that. So that way the AI can be more I than A. So given, and to be honest, I'm gonna grab this and should I do it for our for the seek behavior? There's no reason not to. Yeah, let's do it. Just make it cleaner. Makes more sense. Oh yeah, basically I just set it agent speed to negative speed. Desired velocity is normal scale at negative speed. I'm gonna try this. Hello. And this is gonna need a lot of work. So first of all, we don't need this behavior anymore. And then we need to set end targets now. It's hard because every agent is going to be searching for every other enemy agent. So what that's going to do is that's going to make, considering that we have, I think we have like 10 enemy agents and 10 player agents, that's going to be 100 calls. Yeah, so that's 10. So that's going to be 100 calls. Yeah, so I don't know if I want to do it the way I'm thinking, because 100, position checks of frame is not very efficient. But in the end, it's like, what are you going to do? There's gotta be a simple way of doing this. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, so maybe instead, what can happen is enemies will have some kind of collision box that when a player walks into it, they will get the flee behavior on that enemy and then run away. That way, instead of checking the whole map for collisions, it's like your player only checks if it's inside, if it's hit a collision box. It's like funny stuff about spatial hash maps. Look at me colliding with this circle. Look at this collision. So the enemies will have a collision box around them, and then what I need to do is make it so that the collision box, if it interacts with a player, gives the player a flee behavior. So then that way the player doesn't have to check for a collision box. I think that could work. Nice. One second though. Okay. I'm back, but I think I got somewhere to be right now. I need. I actually need to go soon. Surprise! So I need to go get ready. But I might come back later on, maybe in the afternoon. So I'll keep you posted for that. Until then, I know it's only been going on for like an hour, but I'll get back to streaming in the afternoon. I'll see you all at the end of the day, but be ready for a follow up.